Hi, welcome to the introduction of using your own database of participants in UXtweak. Own Database is a universal participant management tool that will help you harness the power of your own sources of research participants to its fullest. But how exactly does it work? Let's look into that right now. Imagine that you have the email addresses of your current users, the best testers for any improvements you want to introduce to your platform. Own Database allows you to import these email addresses and automatically invite any of the participants into UXtweak studies. No more Excel sheets and external mailing services. With Own Database, everything is provided in one place. The first step is to populate your database with future participants. You can do this manually or using a CSV or XLSX file. After importing your current database, you can add more contacts in the future, even from multiple sources. Now let's look inside and see what the import from a file looks like. After you upload a new spreadsheet with a list of participants, you will first need to decide the mapping of columns in the spreadsheet to the properties of participants in the database. Properties have a name and a data type. For example, the third column contains the participant's date of birth, which is the data type date. There are a number of different data types. You should always pick the one that best fits the nature of the data in the column. For example, the tag data type is best used for categorical properties, such as the language of communication. The data type determines how you can use the column to filter participants, but more on that later. If you already have some participants in the database, you can also map columns to properties that already exist. After you're done with the structure, it's time to review the participant data you're about to import. You can easily spot any incomplete or invalid entries and fix them. The only column that is required is the email address, since an email address is needed to invite the participant to your studies. Once you've reviewed the data, all that remains is finishing the import. Good job! Now your freshly populated own database is ready for recruiting. Your database is full of potential participants, but you most likely don't want to recruit everyone at the same time with each study that you conduct. You'll want to be able to quickly filter your audience, divide it into segments, and target those segments specifically. A significant portion of participant management that Own Database provides is creating your own filtered segments of participants. A segment is a group of participants who meet specific filter criteria. You can create complex filters based on any of the columns in your database structure that represent the properties of the participants. Each data type, such as text or date, provides different filtering conditions according to what makes sense. You can create logic between multiple conditions using both and, or operators. The number of conditions is unlimited, and their logic can be up to 2 levels deep by grouping your filters. Since creating a complex filter every time would be cumbersome, you can filter for later reuse as segments. Now that you have your target group safely saved as a segment, all that remains is inviting its members into your study. The first step is to set up a recruiting from your own database and give it a name. This name won't be shown to the participants. Now you need to select a study that you would like to recruit for. Remember that the study must be properly set up and it must be active for the recruiting to start. The next step is to choose who you are going to invite into the study. You can manually filter the participants, but we don't have to do this because we already have our segment prepared. You can also choose how many participants you want to invite. If you choose a lower number than the maximum available, the participants will be chosen at random from the setup targeting. This can be especially useful if you have more participants available than you need, to prevent any unnecessary spam. No one likes a spammer. Introducing yourself is a common courtesy. Besides, mail recipients should know that it's coming from a trusted source. That's why the invitation email needs to include your identification. You can also provide a reply address so that potential participants are able to contact you directly if they have any questions. Now for the fun creative part. You need to create a template for your invitation email. This template will be used to generate invitation emails to be distributed to your participants. Set up the subject of the email its body, and your signature. Aside from plain text, you can make your templates smarter by using variables, which will be replaced in the actual text with the information that is bound to them. These include details about the study, such as its name, about the researcher, such as their name, or the details of the participant themselves. So you can, for example, address them by their name. You can also edit the appearance of the email by selecting the text in the action button and its color. You can check out what the email will look like in the preview, or test the email by sending it to yourself. When you feel like your recruiting is set up to your liking, just click on the Start Recruiting button and we'll start sending out the email invites. After you launch your recruiting, you are able to monitor its progress using the Active Recruiting screen. You can see how many invitations have been sent so far, how many participants have already taken part in your study, and how many of them managed to complete it. Having a mailing list of your actual or potential users is a goldmine for invaluable insights. Now that you know how to efficiently recruit participants with your own database of people in UXtweak, there is nothing stopping you from trying it out yourself. Thank you for watching, and let's do some research.